Okay, I chose problem 6 for the homework help video because this is just like the exit ticket we did today. So if you had any trouble on the exit ticket, you'll see how to do this by working this problem. It's titled gas mileage. It says Raif knows that his car gets 28 miles per gallon of gas. His tank holds 12.6 gallons. How many miles can he travel on one tank of gas? So let's write that down. 28 miles. Per means like over, like a fraction. 28 miles for every 1 gallon of gas. And his tank holds 12.6 gallons. So let's use this line down here and break it up into segments. Imagine that this first segment is the distance that he could travel on 1 gallon of gas. On 1 gallon of gas, he could travel 28 miles. On the next gallon of gas, he could travel another 28 miles. Another gallon of gas, another 28 miles. So we just have to keep adding up these line segments, 12.6 of these line segments, to see how far he could go on a full tank of gas, because his tank is 12.6 gallons. And you remember that repeated addition, 28 plus 28 plus 28, 12.6 times would be the same as multiplication. So we can find the total distance that his car would travel in miles by multiplying 28 times 12.6 gallons. So here's our multiplication. You can see that these units will cancel and we'll get miles. 28 times 12.6. Now that we know, now that we've done the hard part and figured out that this word problem is a multiplication problem, we can set up the multiplication just like we did in class today. 28 times 12.6. And remember, the rule for multiplying decimals is we just multiply as if they were whole numbers, and then we'll deal with the decimal at the end. Okay, 8 times 6 is 48. Carry the 4. 2 times 6 is 12, plus 4 is 16. I'm done with that, so I'm going to cross it out so I don't confuse myself. Now I'm on the tens place, so I start with a 0. 8 times 2 is 16. Carry the 1. 2 times 2 is 4, plus 1 is 5. Get rid of that. Now I'm on the hundreds place, so start with 2 zeros. 8 times 1 is 8. 2 times 1 is 2. Let's add that up. 8. 6 and 6 is 12. Carry the 1. 1 plus 1 is 2, plus 5 is 7, plus 8 is 15. Carry the 1, and 1 plus 2 is 3. So 3,528 is our answer. But now we need to look at our factors. How many decimal places in this factor? 0, that's a whole number. 28 is a whole number. How many decimal places in this other factor? 1 decimal place, so 1. And remember the rule we learned in class. To find the number of decimal places in our product, we find the sum of the number of decimal places in our factors. So 0 plus 1 is 1. So we should have 1 decimal place in our product. And so put 1 decimal place in the product. And there's the answer in miles. 352.8 miles. One more thing I want to look at here before we finish. I'm having trouble circling that. Let's do some estimation. About how many miles per gallon does this car get? I'm going to say about 30 miles per gallon. And about how big is his tank? I'm going to say about 10 gallons. So we'd expect him to get about 30 times 10, or 300 miles for a full tank of gas. And is that about what he got? Well, we calculated 352. That's pretty close to 300. So do some estimation also to see what kind of an answer you could expect, because if you make a mistake multiplying decimals, you'll most likely be off by a factor of 10. It will be very obvious if you do some estimation and compare it to your estimate. Okay, I hope that helps with the homework, and have a great weekend. Don't forget your homework on Monday. Do it and bring it to class. Okay, I'll see you Monday.